Good day, gentlemen. This is one of these rare opportunities that you only get ever so often in life, where you get to listen to someone who has in the past made the mistakes that you are currently making, and who is now in the situation that you want to be in. I've been with my girl for over 5.5 years, and I am one of these, maybe just like you, one of the more ambitious young people. One of the few people who are young, who actually work hard on their goals, who are not lazy, who are not sitting around all day, and who has reached quite some decent goals in his life. And I want to give you crucial advice on how to build a relationship that supports your ambition. Because let's be honest, brother, you want a relationship that supports you, a relationship where she understands your purpose, a relationship where she pushes you to be a better person, a relationship where she gives you peace that you need to recharge after a long day of trying to conquer your goals. You want that, right? If you do, listen up. Because I'm not exaggerating when I say this video will change everything for you in your specific situation. Because I will change your mindset so utterly that you cannot ever think about relationships the same after watching this video. And I will also give you actionable steps and advice on how to actually build the relationship that you really want. Fuck, there's rain coming. What? Fuck. I hope I get this done before the rain is here. Because you know, in the past, after dating my girl for 1 or 2 years, and after me getting out of school and having all these goals of building my first business and all that kind of stuff, I'll be honest, at that time my relationship caused me a lot of stress. I was, on the one hand, stressed by that relationship because I sometimes didn't know how to handle that relationship. On the other hand, I was bored of it because it kind of became just boring, right? And it just became more of a chore than something that rewarded me. You know what I mean? And this is not to say anything bad about my girl, because she's an awesome woman, and I'll talk more about that later on. But at the end of the day, sometimes I was frustrated with the relationship. I was anxious that she might leave me or that she might lose attraction, because I am naturally a more anxious person. I have something called, or had something called, an anxious attachment style, which now is not the case anymore. I've worked through this, right? I'm very, very secure nowadays. Thing is this, it really held me back. It did. It did hold me back. Because it cost me a lot of sleep, for example. I couldn't fall asleep at night sometimes. I couldn't focus on my work because I was constantly thinking about her. And at the end of the day, yeah, during that time I probably would have gotten more done and would have reached my goals faster if I hadn't been with her. And I was jealous and envious of the men that I looked up to in whatever field, whether it was someone like Alex Hormozi or Luke Belmar, these entrepreneurs, right? Or someone like Chris Bumstead, for example, who, I mean, is also an entrepreneur, but mostly known for his bodybuilding, right? All of them had an awesome woman by their side ever since they started, ever before they became successful, right? So, and even for Alex Hormozi, there's this cool story that he tells where he pretty much lost everything a couple of years ago. And his back then still girlfriend, now wife, Layla, he told her, hey, I'm a fuck up right now, and I understand if you want to leave. I fully understand, go ahead. And she told him, I would sleep under a bridge with you if it came to it. That's an awesome woman, first of all. And I envied that. I wanted that kind of support as well. Same with Luke Belmar. He's been on one date his whole life. He's been with one woman his whole life, right? And she was with him before he was successful, and now that he is extremely successful in many different fields. Chris Bumstead, same thing, right? So, thing is this, I was envious of these men. What I didn't realize though is, they did something different than I did. They knew something that I didn't know back then. And there's even an ancient example of this that portrays this very well, which is the story of Odysseus, the Greek mythology figure Odysseus, right? Who was the king of Ithaca, who fought in the Trojan Wars and won, and then got lost at sea on the way back for 10 years, and had to go through many challenges on that path back to his kingdom Ithaca. And in the end, he never gave up, and he got back there. He got back to Ithaca. But he didn't do that for his kingdom, for his people, or for his son. He did that because his woman, his wife, Penelope, inspired him to do it. She was the motivating factor for him to get back there. And that's what a woman can do for you. I've made videos in this in the past. This video that I made, why love makes men unstoppable, right? I made this like 2 months ago, and many men resonated with this because this is so true. I wouldn't be where I am right now without my girl, right? Because she pushes me so much, motivates me, believes in me, all that stuff. You need to realize that the red pill lied to you. The red pill told you women are a distraction. And that is true if you pursue women in the red pill way, where you're on Tinder 2 hours a day, or on Instagram chatting with these women and making up dates and having sex with 10 random women per week, right? All that stuff, I could do that. Yes, I do feel like I could do that, right? If I was single right now, I do have the confidence that I'm like, you know, I'm decently good looking, I'm confident, all that stuff, I could do that. But that would be a huge fucking distraction for everything that I'm trying to pursue in life. And that's the thing. But if you do it right, being with one woman, again, if you do it right, because many people are with one woman and then don't make it work. But if you do it right and you are with one woman and you build the kind of relationship that supports your purpose, supports your missions, then I don't see the word distraction ever being mentioned there. Because it's not a distraction. It's something that builds you up. It's a vehicle that you can use. It's a push of motivation that gets you forward, just like it got Odysseus forward, right? I recently watched this TED Talk by this guy called Gary Lewandowski, and he mentioned a few very good things. He's like a researcher on relationships, right? A scientist guy. And he mentioned a few things like relationships are the most important thing in our lives, because if we're 95 years old lying on our deathbed, this is what he said, then we will not regret the money we haven't made, or we won't regret the business we haven't started. What we will regret is not having spent as much time with our loved ones as we would have liked to. Relationships are the most important thing. And at the end of the day, that's a very good point. The other good point he made is that we want, as ambitious people, we want a relationship that allows self-expansion, a relationship that allows us to expand ourselves, to evolve. Now what this Gary, this researcher, this scientist also explains is that some relationships, when we break up with our partner there, it frees us, it allows for more self-expansion. But he doesn't understand a crucial principle, and most people don't, and I in the past didn't understand this, right? And I'll explain to you what I mean by this, because did I break up with my girl in that situation that I was in a couple of years ago, that you're in right now? Or you think the relationship is holding you back? No, I didn't break up. And here's why. First of all, 2 reasons that are very, very important, and I'll explain why Gary, this researcher, doesn't understand. I'll explain that after this. The 2 reasons are very simple. First of all, I realized, or I knew that she's an awesome woman. Not just emotionally, not just because I was attached to her, but because I detached as much as possible and then reflected for hours and hours on what I actually want in a woman. And she fulfilled she ticked every one of those boxes. So I knew, hey, this is an awesome woman. This is a woman that I want to be with, right? And the second thing I realized, or I knew back then, to put it better, was a thing that most people don't know about, have never even heard about. And that is the so-called emotional cycle of change. This principle, I'll explain this in a second, it applies to every single pursuit in life that is worthwhile. Whether it's building a good body, getting your health up, building a business, building a great relationship, whatever it is, we all have to go through this emotional cycle of change. I'll explain this in a second, but first I want to mention, right now, if your relationship feels like it's kind of dying, but you also know that this woman that you're with is an awesome woman that you would want to be with in the long term, and what you can always do is you can book a free call with me, so we can figure out whether you're a good fit for my program. So if you're interested, link in description, book a call with me. Thing is this, emotional cycle of change. I'll explain this as quickly as possible. This is a principle that you just need to realize for everything in life. So, emotional cycle of change. This is your emotional state right now. Now you start something new, like a new project at work, or you start a business, or you start going to the gym, or you start a new relationship. Your emotions rise at first. You have what's called uninformed optimism. Uninformed optimism. You don't know anything about this yet, but you're very optimistic. You're hyped, right? You start this new business, you start this new pursuit, you're hyped. What very quickly happens in a business, like after the first 2, 3, 4 weeks, right? Or in a relationship, after a few months or years, what happens is your emotional state kind of goes down, way below your baseline. This phase is called informed pessimism, because now you have more information and you realize, fuck, this actually isn't as easy as I thought it would be. Fuck, this person isn't actually as perfect as I thought they would be. Fuck, this business is actually much harder, much more competition, right? You get the point. And then you get to your low point, which is called the crisis of meaning, where you question everything. You question, why would someone like me even make it in that business? How did I think I could make it in that business? Why did I think that I deserved such a great person? Of course I would end up with a bad partner again, right? All this kind of stuff. Now, the emotional cycle of change has 2 more phases, but most people give up here. Most people quit here. They quit the business, they quit the relationship, whatever it is. The thing is though, what they don't realize is now their emotional state is down here, not up here. And they have to start from here again. So the next relationship, the next business, whatever, they start down here, not up here. They start down here and then they have again uninformed optimism, informed pessimism, crisis of meaning, and then everything goes to shit again and they give up. What you need to realize is that these first 3 phases are necessary. They are necessary. You can't get around them. They are necessary for you to make progress in whatever pursuit in life you have, in whatever change you want to make in your life. Making more money, having a better relationship, getting fit, whatever it is, you have to do this. You have to go through these 3 phases. Because once you get to this crisis of meaning, you should honestly be happy that you got there. You should be grateful that you got to this phase, if you're in it right now. Because now, you can learn what to do to get out of it. And then you can get to the phase, the 4th phase, which is called informed optimism. Now you know a lot, and you know how to make it work, whether it's a business or getting fit or that relationship. And then you get to the last phase, which is achievement. And achievement can go up and up and up and up and up. And then you start the next pursuit and you have to start everything over again, right? But you can never get to achievement without going through the crisis of meaning first. And I knew that back then. And most people don't. Because most people are also, like Gary, our scientist guy here, they're indoctrinated by romanticism especially, and by modern society, where everyone tells you, you need to find the one. And yeah, there are many soulmates that you can have, but you have to find one of those. And if a relationship gets hard at one point, they're not the right person because they're not the one, obviously. Why would that be true? Question that for a moment. Why would that be true? If in every other pursuit in life you have to go through this crisis of meaning where that pursuit gets bad, where it gets challenging for a while, why would that not be the same in a relationship? Or in a friendship, or with your family members? Why would that not make sense there? It does. That's the thing. It does make sense here. You have to go through the crisis of meaning as well. And of course, again, make sure you're with a good person. Don't be with a toxic person who you actually don't want to be with long term, because then it doesn't make sense to stay with them. But I think you get what I'm saying, right? Everyone has been indoctrinated by romanticism to think, brother, you need to do this like this. You need to find the one person. And if you get the point. Most people say, they weren't the one, that's why I broke up with them. They say this because it gives them an excuse to not do the work. Simple. It gives them an excuse to not do the work, to get out of this crisis of meaning, because it takes a lot of work, and then they can just start the next relationship, get into informed or uninformed optimism again right away, right? And it makes them feel good and all that stuff. What you need to realize though is challenges are good. The masculine grows by challenge, the feminine grows by praise. Challenges are good for you. And by the way, when I talk about masculine and feminine, at the end of the day, I'm not talking about male, female dynamics or whatever. What I'm talking about is masculine and feminine energy, sexual energy, which all of us have both of those in us, right? Nobody is 100% masculine or 100% feminine. And we should all be able to go into both at the same time. And then we should learn how to integrate both of them. And then we should learn in a relationship how to give the other person's, predominant sexual energy, their sexual essence, how to give that space by being in the opposite. sexual energy ourselves, right? So these words, I just say that because these words, masculine, feminine, they're so over and often misused nowadays. That's why I say this. But the thing is this, masculine grows by challenge. In the past, I would resent my girl if she tests me, right? The red pill talks about this, these tests. I call those challenges because that's what they are in the end. They are challenges that she gives to you so you can grow, so you can evolve, so you can become a better guy. For yourself, for her, for your children, future children, whatever it is, for everything that you do in life. And not only that, she also trains you and prepares you for the most likely much more difficult challenges that the world will give you. Because the world is also feminine. There's a reason why we say Mother Earth. Because if you're a more masculine person, or if you're in any masculine pursuit, fuck, now the rain is here. It's gonna start raining in a second. Let me get this done. Sorry, boys. In any masculine pursuit, right? Building a business, getting fit, whatever it is. Anything you do for the outcome, not for the activity, pretty much, right? In every one of those, you will face challenges. And the better your ability is to face those challenges and overcome them and conquer them, the more progress you will make. Your woman gives you the gift of helping you train your problem-solving ability, train your ability to overcome, to conquer these challenges. A friend of mine has shared this with me. Maybe it was even Sem, the editor of this video. I'm not religious myself, but he shared this, I think this is from Christianity, this mindset that God will only ever give you challenges as big as you can handle them. He will never give you a challenge that's too big or too small for you, because go to the gym, right? If you lift too little weight, you're not going to grow. If you lift too much weight, you're going to get hurt and also not grow, right? So you have to lift the right amount of weight. You have to have the right amount of resistance, just like in every challenge in life. To grow, you have to have the right amount of resistance. Your woman also gives you that, and the world also gives you that, right? Many Christians, I'm again not religious myself, but many Christians say God is what's within ourselves. Like God, we are a part of God, or God is a part of us, or I don't know, bro, I'm not religious again, but God is within us, right? So my girl, you could then say, is like a part of God, or it has a divine essence, whatever. And so with that in mind, she will also only give you challenges that you can handle. And if you can't handle them, by the way, if you're actually unable to handle her challenges, then you need to end things with her. Same with any project in life. And I mean, you'll automatically do that, right? If you can't take on the challenges of some business that you started, you'll quit that business naturally, right? Or you'll learn how to overcome these challenges and then overcome them. I fucking hate rain. Thing is this, one more point that I need to mention here is, one thing that really held me back from committing to my girl, and that made me resent her a lot, and that made me think my relationship is holding me back, was the fact that I often would not make the decisions that I wanted to make authentically, but make the decisions that she wanted me to make, right? That she told me she wanted me to make. And it's small things like when to spend time with her, or big things like where to go on vacation, stuff like that, right? At the end of the day, if you are the more masculine person in the relationship, you will not like her if she takes the direction. Most of the time. Sometimes if she does it, that's okay. But most of the time, you'll start resenting her if she takes away your sense of direction, because it shows that she doesn't trust your inherent direction. And that's kind of like it's kind of like if you tell a more feminine person that they're ugly. That's the same thing, right? So that's the first thing about decisions. The second thing is, if you let her make the decision, or if you make the decision that she says she wants to make, right? Just for her own sake, even though you want to make a different decision, the opposite decision, whatever. What often happens is, either she's wrong, she made the wrong decision, and you would have made the right decision. Then you obviously resent her, and you resent yourself, because you're like, fuck, I should have just spoken up and made the decision that I authentically wanted to make. Or it's the other way around, where she makes the right decision and you would have made the wrong decision, where you again resent yourself and resent her, because you're like, fuck, both me and her took away the possibility for me to make a mistake. We need to make mistakes to learn, right? The only reason why I can teach you here is because I've made mistakes in the past, learned how to not make them, and can now teach you how to also not make them, right? We need to learn from our mistakes. This is a huge problem in parenting, by the way. Many parents nowadays raise their children in a way where the children, they don't let their children fall on their face, literally or metaphorically. And so the children, literally or metaphorically, never learn how to get up again. They think that life is easy always, right? And you can imagine what happens to such a child, right? How they grow up, how they face challenges in the world then, right? Now, if you are in a situation right now where you do feel like the relationship is holding you back, she's holding you back, you resent her a bit, there's not as much commitment and love and closeness as you would want there to be, and you kind of feel like the relationship is dying because of this. But you don't want it to die, because you've realized that this is an awesome woman that you're with. You want to make it work with her, and you want to build the thriving, passionate, loving, secure relationship that you actually want, that you actually desire, in as little time as possible. Then what you can do is you can book a free call with me, so we can figure out whether you're a good fit for my program. So if you're interested in that, check out the link in the description. So far, every single one of my clients has reached the relationship they actually want, and I am fully convinced that this will be the case for every future client of mine. So yeah, if you're interested, check out the link in the description and book a call with me. The call is entirely free, so you don't have anything to lose. And yeah, I hope there's still a spot left for you, because there's a lot of men booking these calls right now with me, so I hope there's still a spot left for you. Maybe do this right now, because otherwise there won't be a spot left for you. And yeah, I'm excited to talk to you. I'll see you soon in that call. And yeah, man, I wish you all the best. I'll get out of here right now, because the rain is right now still pretty light, but back there is like a huge rain cloud. So I'll get out of here. I'll see you soon, man. Book that call if you want to. See you.